Can I get a hello? We over here at Green Talk by Green Care Solutions, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kano. I'm here with my brother from another Immortal Technique. Hello, everyone. We're here at Green Talk by Green Care Solutions on KCAA and BC Radio and iHeartRadio, Spotify, and YouTube. This is a cannabis-friendly and educational program. You must be 21 years of age to listen. We are not doctors, but Green Care Solutions does have doctors. I'm here with my lovely co-host.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Angela Mazzanti here, and we have some very special guests today.
Yes, we do.
We have not only the one and only Immortal Technique. How are you doing?
How you doing? How's everybody?
Amazing. We also have my lovely friend, Melissa. It's her first sesh.
First sesh, so this is your first time. I mean, we did this a big way, man. We brought you all the way to the big dog, to the Kushstock, ladies and gentlemen. We at Kushstock right now, so we're filming live. You can hear the backlash in the background, so that's the music that you're hearing. We're at Green Care Solutions Kushstock, and we're gonna get you lit. You already know that.
I'm so excited.
So how can we get you started? Can we start smoking immediately? Do you smoke? What do you like?
So I don't smoke, but I use CBD.
Oh,
so
CBD. Okay, we'll get you plenty of CBD. Then we're gonna have to get my captain at some point of the night. Some marijuana inside. How you doing today, Cap? How you liking California? You back?
Yeah, I'm really honored to be here, yo. For people who don't know, the fact that me as Immortal Technique have always made music that touches on specific subjects. One of the subjects that we've always talked about is not just the legalization of marijuana. I think that's an oversimplification. We have to completely decriminalize, and not only do that, but we need a full restorative justice program. And when people ask me, well, Technique, what the fuck does that mean? It means that everybody that is now watching this government and this state make millions and millions of dollars off of marijuana shouldn't be punished for the fact that they used to smoke weed 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 20 years ago. Those records should be expunged. Anybody who can't vote should know for sure that the people that are collecting votes and collecting millions of dollars deserve to hear their voices too. Because irrespective of whether these people know it or not, all that time you spent in jail or in the back of a cop car, you were pushing forward the agenda.
Absolutely.
You were pushing forward the idea that criminalizing a plant that God made for everybody to use for whatever medicinal purpose, whether it's you can't sleep or I'm getting over this bullshit heartache, whatever it may be, for your soulful well-being or for actually you having cure for anxiety or glaucoma, whatever it may be. The government had no particular right to intervene. There are a lot of reasons why they did, and most of them really center around a lot of very imperialistic and racist agendas. And I'm glad that we as a people here have come from all walks of life, all race, creed, color, him or her, to sit down and agree that we're gonna move forward with this, and not just in a way of getting high and enjoying it, but remember all the times that our friends and family have spent in the back of a cop car or in a jail cell for this. And that's what I mean by restorative justice. Those people need to have those records expunged so they can get whatever job they want, and they need to be able to vote again so they can vote against people trying to turn marijuana into a Budweiser business where they basically water this shit down, overcharge people too much. We can't have the mom and pops pushed out of the business. No, they are integral to the business. They are the heart and soul of the marijuana industry. The mom and pops, the people that invented these strains, the people that came here and set up shop at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning while everybody was waking and baking. Right. God bless them, but we got to remember those people that really pioneered the movement. So that's what I'm here to do, to remind people that there are a lot of individuals that sacrificed a lot for us to be here and get high in front of the cops and laugh at them. Right. You know what I mean? I remember a time when they would arrest you and literally beat the shit out of you and take any opportunity to criminalize you for marijuana.
And that's the dope thing, is that right now, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are listening and or watching right now, we are in the city, California, and we're all hanging out, listening to great music, getting our medicine, and having a great time here in California. So we're having a good time. Again, thank you, Immortal Technique, for being on. Angela, what you got? You're supposed to be on today too, aren't you?
I am. So later tonight, we just dropped a new single on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. We dropped the music video. So hopefully performing tonight as well. Okay. We'll see what happens.
So with us being out here at Kushstock in music, we have a lot of other artists, a lot of great people that come in. It's kind of cool that we can bring, cannabis and music together, and how peacefully it is. I mean, you guys can't see, but there's over 30,000 plus probably people here that are all having a great time, getting their medications.
All different walks of life.
Yeah, all different walks, different ages, different creeds. They're all different walks of life, all here having a great time here at Kushstock.
See, that's one thing interesting I'll say. when I've been to a lot of festivals in America, Europe, South America, and you're always going to find like diversity in certain aspects. But the one diversity that I see here today is people of all ages. Now, I see people, at hip hop shows, and they come in all different colors and sexes. That's one thing. But
it's not different ages.
Right. But it's like you see young people here next to a 70-year-old couple that's blazing it up, that's celebrating their 50th anniversary. I ran into a couple celebrating a 50th anniversary here at Kushstock. I said, oh my God, yo, listen, you don't see that shit at a hip hop show.
No.
Right. There's some real life shit,
Yeah, it's a lot. It's so beautiful, again, how people can come together, with a little bit of...
And there's never any like drama or fighting or anything at these.
No, I never see anybody
knock
fighting.
on wood, but...
Thankfully for that. Think that's the difference between an alcoholic beverage and something that is medicinal. You're not gonna.
You give out some free cookies, you're gonna have a shoving match, though. You know what I mean? Free
that's about the worst it gets.
Free tacos. There's gonna be a shoving match on that line, but it's all good.
I don't blame them.
I don't blame them on that part. I guess that's some peaceful violence if there is any such thing as that. Peaceful violence here. So we're gonna definitely be going on. My brother goes on today at 6 o'clock, so we're gonna be hitting that stage at 6 o'clock. Also, if you guys are listening, we're gonna be out in the city of San Bernardino tomorrow between 4 to 5:30, and we'll be out there at that one and only San Bern M33 sesh. So again, we are here at the one and only Kushstock, and right now we're at the Green Talk Green Care Solutions. So Tex, this will bring you up. This is one of the 5-time award-winning company. They have things from Canna Hookah. Canna Hookah is something that you think of. Hookah has tobacco in it. Well, theirs is innovative. It's won 5 times. It has no tobacco additives. They won awards with their edibles as well as some of their marijuana. So as soon as we get off this studio thing, we can definitely go partake in some the Green Care Solutions award-winning, 5-time award-winning Green Care Solutions.
That's right.
After the show.
After the show, absolutely. After the show.
And if you get too high, they do have the CBD Canna Hookah, just in case.
So yes, so the CBD, so as she's explaining, the CBD aspect will go ahead. If you add too much THC in your body, you add a little bit of CBD involved, it'll actually mellow you out to bring you back down to that normal. So that's the great thing about CBD, and Green Care Solutions has that.
And that's just the beautiful thing about marijuana in general. For example, like if you're really, really drunk, you can't just splash water on your face or have somebody scare you and you'll feel better. You're blurring. But if you get high, you need to be somewhere. You put them drops in your eyes, you put some water on your face, take a shower, sit down, you know what I mean? Have somebody scare you, you're awake, you're like, okay, I'm up. But you'll be a stumbling drunk forever. And I think it's interesting, especially coming from a Latino background and from an indigenous background, something that we need to confront in our community. I'm sick and tired of people that think you can go out and get drunk and that's cool, and then you take a little puff and ay el diablo, oh my God. No, listen to me. Drinking is 100 times worse for you than smoking a little weed. Jesus Christ. The times that I've had arguments with my family when they'll say ridiculous things to me like, yo, Felipe, what if somebody got in a car and drove while they were high? And I'd be like, well, first they'd be driving 20, 30 miles an hour. Second of all, if they got drunk and did the same exact thing, they would just not only probably kill themselves, but I really, the harmful part is, imagine if they were alive and they killed somebody else. Man, that's a terrible thing to live with for the rest of your life. And I warn people, man, listen, do not get up and drive, man. If you gotta go somewhere, man, drive safe, man. Make sure that everybody else is right. Enjoy yourself, but enjoy everything responsibly. You know what I mean? If you're gonna be operating a jackhammer, probably not a good time to take a bong rip. You know what I mean?
No.
If you're gonna work at a construction site, not really a good time to take edibles. So I always tell people, listen, it's a beautiful thing, but like anything, too much of anything makes you an addict.
Absolutely, and I mean, me being an advocate and a speaker, like we are, Angela, and as well as yourself, I mean, that I am a recovering alcoholic, so alcohol does kill people, and unfortunately took my father's life, so, it is what it is.
Well, all the opioid epidemic's going on too.
Yes, there is. Right. It's a tragic thing that's going on, ladies and gentlemen. We have something that is a plant that can help save lives, and the stigma is, oh my gosh, that's THC, that is so bad. But we can go after work, clock out of work, go freaking buy a fifth of vodka, pound that down, come into work with a hangover the next day, and it'd be okay.
And I think it's also very, very great. I really appreciate the young lady for bringing up the opioid epidemic, because we had that too in the 80s and 90s, and it was dealt with as a criminal justice issue for poor people, right? Poor people of all colors, white, black, brown, but especially in the black and brown community, the opioid epidemic was what was to us the crack era, right? The crack cocaine era, and it wasn't treated like a medical issue, right? They were screaming at us like for example, that we were the worst people in the world. But what I always love to remind people is, pay close attention of how they're dealing with the quote-unquote opioid epidemic now. Now it's a medical issue. Now people are on heroin, and we have to say, oh my God, we have to save them. But in the past, it was like, oh, look, these people are on heroin and crack, lock them in a cage and throw them away for 20 years. And we can't go back to that mentality. That's a backwards way of thinking. That is the most dishonest and disingenuous thing that this government has done. Literally lock people up for being a drug addict. It's like screaming at a person that doesn't speak the same language as you. How come you can't understand me? Literally, they can't. Like, that's what people don't understand. For some of the drugs that we discussed that are not marijuana, that are not cannabis, what we're discussing is those are drugs. This is a plant. This is an herb, okay? If you stop smoking weed and you smoke for 10 years, what's gonna happen? You're gonna have a little bit of, damn, I can't sleep tonight. Yeah. What happens if you take heroin for years and you stop one day? You can die or withdraw that day. So let's talk about what we really need to focus on in this society. And I thank her for bringing that up because that's incredibly important to this movement. Let's make these people recognize that drug addiction to these hard drugs, to these terrible things that destroy our people, crystal meth, crack cocaine, that's not what we need to be on. And also the people that are on that, they need to be treated in a medical facility, not thrown away like some disposable piece of garbage.
Absolutely.
They're not garbage. They're people with an addiction. Absolutely. And I really, really, really appreciate the fact that a lot more people of all walks of life are beginning to recognize that now. You know what I mean?
It's scary. I've seen so many young people go from opioid addiction and like overdose, and it's just it's sad. It's terrible.
And the thing that's a trip that's even more, you guys, is that, I mean, they'll never admit it, but it was not brought by us. We didn't bring this. It was obviously planted here by our. We can get into a longer discussion of who brought it to us.
No, we can, sure.
And it'll take like hours to explain. But yeah, it was brought to us by our government, and then this is how a roundabout way of how things end up, and then, yeah, man. That's a long discussion. But anyways, we'll get back to the cannabis stuff.
Well, even I know this doesn't have to do with like going to jail and stuff like that, but like one thing I was thinking of today, like because it's 420, like I've seen like Carl's Jr. or something like launch like a CBD burger in like some places or something. But what's crazy to me is that like social media creators, YouTube, Instagram, all that are getting deleted still for posting videos smoking weed.
Right.
And that's insane to me that like they can like just stop
our corporation, right?
Exactly.
Right.
When there's free speech and everything.
She brings up an interesting point. The idea of co-opting the culture. There's a lot of people
like
that
they want the culture for the money, but they have their set.
There's a comedian named Paul Mooney, right? And he said that that America Got Talent is nothing but the Apollo with white judges. Everyone started laughing. But here's the interesting part. In the future, in like 5-10 years, they're gonna be some girl that don't know nothing about cannabis, that never paid any dues, that want your job, that want to be on the station talking about it, when in reality, that's the co-opting of the culture. People coming in and doing exactly what you're saying. Saying, oh man, we're gonna make a hip-hop Coors Light. You know what I mean? A hip-hop cannabis / Coors Light situation. And we're
it's
like, wait a
people
minute.
who probably have never smoked, don't understand anything about the industry or the culture.
And aren't advocating the most important part, which is stop criminalizing not just the people doing it now.
They're just looking to turn a quick buck.
Right, but also cutting off, like you said, the mom and pops that have been in the business for decades and saying, oh no, we're gonna delete your posts. Right. But here comes Carl's Jr., who probably called the cops smoking weed outside the Carl's Jr.
That part.
I've seen all the videos of like people who offer money and a blunt to like quit their job real quick.
Right, and now you're selling weed burgers.
Yep.
Nah, man. Nah, yo, you can't do that without getting these guys out of Chino, right? We can't have somebody in Vacaville selling weed and you out here selling weed burgers.
Right?
That, no.
That's
no.
Cool. So
let him out of jail, yo.
If I'm not mistaken, we did a show in the past, Tech, and I believe that they're building and or passing a certain law to let individuals and all of their cases from the past be tried. So the people that are being locked up all over right now are going to have to, if I'm not mistaken, by the end of the year, all of their cases have to be tried and or looked at by a law now. So that's dope.
I hope so.
So decriminalizing this stuff, I mean, but
remember, none of this is gonna happen unless we stay on their neck.
Yeah, absolutely.
None of this is gonna happen unless we keep.
Because if we let it slide, they're just gonna keep letting it slide even further.
And that's what right now, if you know too, Tech, right now here in California, it is the highest tax is on cannabis here in California. So they're making it almost unbearable for these mom and pop shops that you see here today to even have a business. So what's ended up happening here, at least in the California aspect of things, is what ends up happening is they're gonna go ahead and with their big money, they're gonna push out all these mom and pop shops. And then in about like 5-6 months from now, or a year from now, they're gonna bring all their taxes down because all of their big buddy and their government homies are gonna want it,
See, that's the interesting thing that you bring up. If people will study the history of prohibition, you'll see a lot of the similarities, right? A lot of the people who were never in the beer business, right? Who were never in the liquor business, who never ran liquor, who never had any criminal charges. They were just corporate people who said, hey man, I'm on Wall Street and it's like 1930. What the fuck? Let's get into the beer business now that it's legal. So a lot of these individuals,
they saw the money in it,
right, are doing the same thing, but forgetting all the individuals that pay dues, not wanting to have the conversations about the people that still can't vote and still can't get a job because of their past convictions. We, as a marijuana community, will not stand for that. We will not let you just enjoy a day of getting high while forgetting about all the people sitting upstate over some. Now, we want those people addressed. We want their rights to be a concern of ours. And definitely, more than not, we don't want somebody to come in and co-opt the culture and say, oh man, you know what?
This
now,
is how
all
we
of a
want
sudden,
it now.
Right, we're going to charge, $300 for, a half a O or some shit. And it's just like, wow, how did it get to be this way? And then when you look at Prohibition and you realize how many independent beer makers there were, how many people with their own distilleries who got bought out little by little by little by little by all these major companies, you could see that happening right now with the marijuana industry. Giant corporations are trying to buy out the little mom and pops, trying to buy out the strands, buy out all the intellectual
and offering
property.
them nothing for it.
Exactly.
I've seen it happen with a couple companies who are like, you're crazy. Like, my business is worth so much more.
Right.
And I give it to those companies who aren't selling out, which I mean, I know there are some who have.
Yeah, because they've been pushed out. They don't have the commodity to continue to stay into the game. And with the thing that's going to be really bothersome too is that, for example, when these Walmart, these Kmarts and all these other big corporations per se are going to put their 2 cents in, that's when the quality of the actual marijuana and the medicine that we got are going to be diluted.
Right.
So the mom and pops, they know how to make the marijuana. You pushing the inventors out of the game, and that's just not okay.
Look, there will be eighths and quarters for sale at CVS one day. Very soon.
Yeah.
Okay, but the reality is that we've replaced all the drug dealers on the corner with drug stores on the corner, right? So we've corporatized the drug trade. So what you really wanted to get rid of wasn't drug dealers. What you really wanted to get rid of was the competition.
Yeah.
Because America is a narco state.
Well,
Right.
that's why it's
That's
been
what
so
we
hard for full legalization, because the government makes so much money off of the police power. They make so much off of what they're making from these medical facilities and everything. So why would they legalize cannabis fully? For them, it doesn't make sense.
For them, it doesn't make any sense right now.
It's a paycheck.
Yeah, because that's why.
Until I guess they see the money in this and then really start trying to buy out everything.
And they will. They'll start buying it all out.
The other problem is that brings up the other idea of the debate between legalization and decriminalization. Because if it is legalized rather than simply decriminalized, then the government has the authority to be able to tell you how much THC you can put in something. Remember, you can't overflow for example, a chocolate chip cookie. There has to be a certain amount of sugar in there.
Right.
There can't be a certain amount more of alcohol in for example, like a Miller Lite. So what we see now is exactly what you're bringing up. People that are going to be able to regulate independent growers and tell them, well, no, you can't grow it this way. You have to grow it that way. Or, you have to trim these leaves this way, or all these ridiculous things that actually interfere with the process of these independent growers that have been doing this for decades.
Well, one of the last shows we touched on the point, I think Shona Raw brought it up, where the testing for marijuana is by far a lot larger. Like if you tested a piece of fruit, like a strawberry or something, with the same process that you have to test for marijuana, it's going to fail every time.
Yeah,
because it's so extensive of a process of testing what's all in it, parts by million, trillion, whatever.
And with that even being said too, now what she's saying is that tech, like the food that me and you process and eat every day, is garbage.
Even to the most organic.
Compared to the marijuana that we are about to put into our lungs. This is better than what the food we are putting in here in our stomachs, America. That's basically what she's saying right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here at Kushstock right now. We are filming live, ladies and gentlemen, from Kushstock. That's why you hear the loud music in the background. We over here with a lot of weed and CBD. CBD is changing the game right now. So we're about to start episode 2, getting into the CBD. Thank you again for having my brother Immortal Technique on.
Peace. This is Immortal Technique. Really just appreciate the ability to be here at Kushstock. Definitely, we'll be talking a lot about the decriminalization of marijuana and those people that were affected by the legality of it, people who have to have records expunged, and people who should be given the right to vote again, being that the government is making so many millions and millions of dollars off of their tax money and collecting revenue. And I think one of the revenues that's going to be really, really big in the future is CBD, for all of the medicinal purposes that it has. And I think that by and large, a lot of individuals are realizing the multiple purposes that it has. Now, it's not just an anti-cancer. We're talking about anti-inflammation. I've been to several places where they give away free CBD to the elders in the community in the form of skincare for arthritis. And I definitely do that for my grandmother. And I feel like if we can, let me just be perfectly honest, I have to lie to my grandmother. All right. Mi abuelita is very old school. So if I tell her something from marijuana, she'll be like, no, al diablo, eso es una porquería. But if I tell her, mira, abuelita, esos son lo que comen los koalas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I tell her it's eucalyptus.
Yeah.
So I rub it on a knee and her hands, and literally my grandmother, my abuelita, can't close her hands sometimes.
Okay.
But when I rub it on there, and I teach my little cousin to do the same thing, 20 minutes later, grandma can move her hand.
That's awesome.
Right? That's not magic. That's not miracles. That's the drug big pharma companies not wanting you to be able to plant a little plant in your house,
right,
be able to crush it up later on and make something for your family. That's them saying, no, you can't collect rainwater. No, you can't, we want to charge you double for free air. You know what I mean?
Right.
How many times could we sell the same air and the same water that he's drinking? So we got to fight against that and recognize that if we're going to continue the battle for the decriminalization of marijuana, it has to be fought on all fronts, not just in the street, not just in the media, but also in terms of the medical field.
Absolutely.
Where this is going to be literally the future of a lot of treatments. Right. And we want to be able to have access to those treatments without paying $200 at CVS, what we could have got across the street for $30.
Absolutely. And again, we appreciate Immortal Technique coming on. We about to sign out from Green Talk, Green Care Solutions. Angela Mazzanti in the house.
That's right. Follow me on Instagram, Angela_Mazzanti. New single out now. iTunes, Spotify, all that. Go follow it.
She's on at 8 p.m. She's just shy. She don't want to tell you.
8 p.m. She on. And who else we got with us, Angela?
We got my lovely friend.
My name's Melissa. My Instagram is my name's not Melissa, but it's really Melissa.
But her name is really Melissa, but my name's not really Melissa, but it's that part. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in. This is Green Talk by Green Care Solutions signing out from Kushstock. Let's go.